that he speaks of in this book, look up, look back, look in, and look around, I see how he's embodied these biblical principles. Finally, what I appreciate the most is that while this book embraces vulnerability and shares so many honest stories of both failures and successes, brokenness and redemption, mountaintops and valleys, its aim is not to draw attention to the author, but most importantly, to point you and me to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, King James Version. What we need today isn't more formulaic how-tos from self-professing gurus. We don't need more dazzling storytellers. We need more genuine storytellers. We need more vulnerable encouragers who truly believe in the persevering power of the gospel. Introduction. Finding Joy. It was 1994. I was young, married, and excelling at everything our culture calls success. By all appearances, I had life by the horns as the senior partner of a successful law practice. Yet here I lay, crawled up in a ball on the floor of our closet. Sick of crying out to God with no change in circumstances, I despaired. Where is God? Why doesn't he care? I was exhausted and without hope. I had no joy. I was chasing success, believing that would bring me joy. But it only brought weariness. I lacked persevering power, a Holy Spirit power that teaches the secret of being content whatever one's circumstance. Strangely, I would find joy by giving up my wealth, power, hopes, and dreams. But first I had to get out of the closet. In that moment, I was fully self-absorbed in my pain and belief that God owed me for being a good person. I didn't drink, smoke, do drugs, engage in sex outside of marriage, or swear. I led Bible studies, served as an elder in my church, and in general was a great Pharisee. Since I am a lawyer, perhaps I would be better identified as a teacher of the law, one of those Jesus called whitewashed tombs, Matthew chapter 23, verse 27, appearing highly successful on the outside, but inside are rotting bones. That described me. Like the Pharisees and teachers of the law in Jesus' day, I subtly felt I was better than others and should be blessed. God calls that pride. I don't think the problem is limited to the rich and powerful, but that was the man cowering in the closet. No matter how much money or power I had, nothing could change my reality. After several years of marriage, my wife and I could not get pregnant. I hated the injustice. People who were able to have children abused or neglected them, while a good Christian couple could not achieve their dream. While I grew angry and cold, my wife experienced the same pain differently. She wept tears of faith thinking of others, not herself. She prayed fervently for my soul and for the children she believed God would provide. God heard her prayers. Helen pulled me from that closet, and together we found joy. The lessons we learned through that time can be summarized in 4 keys for successfully overcoming life's challenges. 4 keys to persevering power. Why should you listen to this book? We all need persevering power. You or someone you know may be experiencing difficult trials in life. I certainly have. I will share many of the challenges the Lord has allowed into my life and the lessons I have learned. I've shared these with thousands of others over decades of challenging legal ministry. Years after my crisis in the closet, God asked me to sell my practice and all I had to start Administer Justice, a ministry that helps individuals caught in legal circumstances and who cannot afford the high cost of lawyers. As I've led this nonprofit, which has served tens of thousands of people in crisis, I've learned the critical importance of these 4 keys to persevering power. They have allowed me to serve those in crisis.